Good afternoon. Now let's start our talk show, episode 96. The only things that stand between you and your dream is the will to pride and believe that is actually possible. It's a beautiful quote quoted by Joel Brown. So, with this quote, I would like to bring our talk show name Conversation with Consultants with episode 96 of our guest talk series. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rima Kumari, HR coordinator of SKANG, and I'm your host for today's talk show. Before I begin our talk show, let me briefly introduce SK Associates and Group. We are an ISO certified management consulting firm registered under the MSMED Act 2006 with the Government of India. Our mission is to providing consulting service to student entrepreneurs globally, covering areas such as compliance, operations, marketing, research and development, human capital, strategic, and operations. Our passion lies in helping these budding entrepreneurs bringing their dreams to life and contribute to global economics growth. Entrepreneurship is the catalyst for change and innovation. It's a powerful force that can reshape industries, transforms lives, and make the world a better place. We are committed to supporting student entrepreneurs on their journey, equipping them with the tools, knowledge, and network they need to succeed. Now, before I begin our show, let's take a moment to introduce our guest for today. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome Dr. Niladri Choudhuri, CEO of Xellentro and President of Green Computing Foundation, to this special event. We are truly honored by your presence today, and we are delighted to have you here in this talk show to share your insight with us.
Thank you.
We would like to start this interview. Our first question for you: how can AI help businesses reduce their carbon footprint?
Sure. So if you look at, let me take an example of any place where there's a very heavy HVAC system or the air conditioning system, maybe a mall, maybe a data center, wherever. Now AI helps in understanding where what amount of AC is needed. Typically, you have seen that when you go to a auditorium, when you go to a movie hall, either it is very cold or it is very hot. Now, not necessary that every time the entire hall is full. Nowadays, what happens is there is sensors and the even the AC is split in different parts. Now there are zoning which is done. Now the AI helps in understanding based on the image, based on the heat sensors, that where what how much people are there, where heat is more. And accordingly they can increase or decrease the ACs in those zones. That way, the whole power consumption reduces. And when power consumption reduces, the carbon footprint reduces. Similarly, in any other place like manufacturing, even in IT, AI can identify proactively where there is possibility of improvement and optimization. And that way, it reduces the overall carbon footprint.
It's great. Moving with the next question: what's the role of sustainable AI in business growth?
Right. So, what is AI trying to do? AI is trying to take care of two things. One, it is trying to help you improve in the work that you are doing. Number two, it is also giving you that facility where it can analyze huge amount of data fast and give you recommendations or insights which will help you in taking decisions which will make your work to be better. Now, in both cases, you are able to do business better than with normal situation, right? For example, as I said, that you have a data center, let's say. AI can help you collect all the information from the various places, various sensors, and tell you where exactly there is a possibility of something breaking. Now, by reducing the chance of things which is going to break, you have more uptime. So more work can be done with the same thing, right? Number two, it can also identify various places which can be optimized. And when you optimize the resource usage, it reduces the cost, right? So it improves the or helps the business to grow. Number three, today, if you look at countries like Europe, Australia, and some other parts of the world, even in India, we have the BRSR. There's a lot of requirement from the customers to disclose the carbon footprint, to find out where there is a negative impact on the environment and improve that. Even for funding, today there is limitation that you can fund only to green companies and green projects for maximum part of your fund, and only small part can be given to others. So whether you are a customer, the younger generation like you, they look at the environment. So everybody is looking from all aspects, whether it is investment people, whether it is customers, whether it is regulators, everyone wants more sustainable companies. Now, AI helps in analyzing all the data, giving all the data in the right form as it is happening for all of them to see properly and take their decisions.
Nice. Your next question is, how does AI optimize resource uses in industries?
Right. So, what AI does is it does a lot of analysis on what is already happening. Now, for example, if I take the example of architecture, today we hear about smart cities and so on, right? So there's a one of the major areas of carbon footprint is construction, right? So AI helps you. So today, if you look at an architect, the architect looks at the cost. The architect looks at the builds the design based on the cost. They do not actually look at the negative impact of the sustainability aspect. But because the companies for commercial and individuals for residential, they are looking at sustainable buildings, that has become an important aspect. So now the architect can use AI with the immense amount of data which is already available to find out that for this particular building, they can just give, okay, I am talking about this building. This is the size of the building. This is the facing of the building. AI can look at, okay, you are building this building in Bangalore, in Whitefield. You are, this building is going to be in this particular area. This is the square feet or square meter size. It can find out what is the exact sun rays angle that it comes, what is the wind, what is the temperature, over summer, winter, all those things, and accordingly tell you that how the building can be built, which will give you the most comfort for the people who are inside, and you don't need an additional amount of ACs and other energy consumption. So you can utilize the sunlight, you can utilize the wind to make it much cooler. It will also give you the calculation of what is the kind of carbon footprint you are expecting with the materials that you are choosing. And it will recommend you the alternatives for that. Like, for example, you have bricks, the clay bricks, and you have fly ash bricks. The carbon footprint of both is different. So you have the option now to, at the design stage itself, to think about sustainability and make it a green building. So similarly, in every domain, AI can analyze and give you those options, those alternatives, those recommendations, how you can improve from the sustainability point of view. Which, as I said, also helps you in reducing the costs. Even if it may be a bit costlier for the first initial investment, but over a period of time, in another 3 to 4 years, the entire return on investment happens, the payback happens. So the payback period is something like 3 to 5 years max. And after that, everything is profit. So it increases your profit. It helps you to ask for a premium price. And people are willing to pay that premium price for a green product or service.
Yeah, great. Your next question is, can I can AI driven sustainability improve brand reputation?
Yes. So I have already talked about it, that whether it is customers, whether it is the investors, whether it is the regulators, everybody is looking for a more sustainable green environment, a green product or a service. And AI can help us optimize our resources, help us track the right information, and collect information from various sources. For example, if you are looking at the supply chain has a lot of data coming from various sources, right? Now, collecting all that data, putting it into one place and analyzing it and giving the right information in terms of a ESG reporting, a carbon disclosure, or whatever, all of these are difficult if you are not using something like AI. And chances of greenwashing becomes higher. But when it is actual, when there is transparency, which AI can help bring into, then the brand name increases. The brand is looked at in a different, higher level.
It sounds good. Your next question is, what's the ROI of investing in sustainable AI?
Okay. So as I mentioned, that the ROI is manifold. Number one is that it improves over a period of time, even if it costs a little bit more in the beginning. Over a period of time, the benefit that you are getting, say, for example, if you are able to reduce the need for energy, your electricity billing is going to go down. So automatically, the what you are spending more at the beginning over a period of time, and that is not very long, within 3 to 5 years, you are going to get back. And after that, it is all benefit for you. Second thing is, if you are looking for investment, today there are many green funds which are available. You have green bonds and all those other green uh, financial instruments, which helps to get more funding for green projects only. So your availability of fund becomes better. Number three, you can charge a premium for your green product and service. So that also helps. So, and fourth, customers themselves are looking for green products and service. So they are willing to pay a premium, and they are also willing to only take those products and services that are green. So chances of getting more business also increases. So it's a the ROI comes from very many fold.
Yeah, it's great. Moving with the next question, how does AI help to sustainable supply chain management?
So let me give you an example. So when we are buying, let's say, so a simple thing, let's say we are buying some hardware materials, right? Now you go to one shop, they will give you a particular type of bill. You go to some other shop, they will give you bill in a different format. Language might be different. You are buying from Karnataka, you have, let's say, something in some people giving it English, some people giving it in Kannada. So in the supply chain, the biggest challenge is getting all those information and putting it in the right format without intervention of actual human beings doing it. Today, the systems that are available works on the optical character recognition. Now, optical character recognition can be correct up to maybe 70%. So, what happens is you have to have another individual human being to now look at the paper document or the scanned document and look at what it has been able to extract and put it and then correct it. So, there is a double work that is going on. But with AI, when we are having AI multilingual models, that is where the benefit comes in, that it can look at all kinds of information. It can look at multi-language. And that is true for India. There are so many languages. If you go to Europe, it is the same thing. Every country has a different language, and different places in the country has different dialects, right? So able to achieve that with without AI is not possible. So AI helps you in doing that, which helps to get the clear transparency in the whole supply chain. So what we call as the embodied carbon. That means, say for example, if you are using the laptop, there is a usage carbon. But when you made this laptop, starting from the extraction of the minerals to processing, getting into the chip, into the motherboard, in the body, aluminum body or whatever, that entire process, there is multiple data that is available in different language, in different forms and formats. When you are able to collect that using AI and analyze that, you will be able to get a more proper uh, carbon footprint disclosure, and it will avoid the greenwashing.
It sounds good. Your next question is, can AI predict environmental risks in business operations?
Yes, definitely. So now we are looking at two things. We are looking at how your organization is impacting the environment, and number two is how environment is impacting the business. For example, last year in two cases, one for Microsoft and one for Amazon, uh, two data centers were crashed. Why? Because the external temperature of the environment was so high that the inner cooling could not handle that temperature, and the temperature required to run the servers, it could not handle it, and the servers crashed. Today every business runs on the IT. If a server crashes, that means the whole business stops, right? So AI can help you predict those things. Similarly, if you look at other things, like if you are collecting the data of the environment, like in India, we have the IMD, Meteorological Department. If you collect those data, if AI can analyze that and tell you what you are expecting, you can predict floods, you can predict bad weather, you can predict tornadoes or whatever coming in. Anything that affects the climate, which affects the business, you can definitely find it. If you look at agriculture, you know that what type is a drought coming up. Will there be too much of rain? Accordingly, the farmers can be more ready to find out what they should do to ensure that their crop doesn't get hurt. Right? So, yes, it can give you the climate related predictions and recommendations what to do, which affects the business.
Nice. Moving with the next question, how does AI contribute to green energy solutions?
Um, See, AI helps in all domains, right? So one of the things that it can do is, now you know the grid has different sources of energy. You have renewable, you have non-renewable energy. The most important point factor here is that how do you balance the grid? See, when there is sun, you get a lot of solar power. But when it becomes cloudy, you don't get the solar power. When there is wind, there is a lot of wind turbines will generate energy. When it is not there, it will not generate. AI can understand the wind conditions, the sun conditions, and everything, and predict beforehand itself that where you can expect a downfall of those, right? Then you know that you have to push something else, that is the non renewable energy or energy from other renewable sources like biomass, which is more stable, to make sure that the grid is balanced. Because if the grid falls, the entire power situation will go down. So, I mean, a bandwidth is there between which the power should be there. If the bandwidth, if the power goes below or above that, there will be problems. So AI will be able to help you in balancing the grid. So that is one example. So similarly, there are other things that it can do.
Great. Moving with the next question. What's the impact of AI on sustainable product design?
Okay. So any product, we want to make it more efficient. Now we look at it from certain angles. Typically, we look at what the requirement is. But when AI looks at all the information, it can give you more insights so that you can make the product more suitable for the use. Right? For example, you see people using. Now, today there are methods to capture that how my eyeball is moving, how I am looking at it, how I am looking from top to down or left to right or whatever. How much time I'm spending on the screen and then moving out and coming back and all those things. It also can then coordinate with other factors like health and other issues and give you insights which can help you design a product which is more usable, less harmful to the person who is using it. So you can understand those kind of things. Similarly, one important aspect is digital twins. Now you collect all the information from different sources and then you use AI and AI tells you, okay, now you are trying to build this. In similar things in other places, you have got all based on that information and other information, a collection of sources of information. It tells you, hey, this is how this particular product can be. So it gives you an idea to make it much more suitable for your customer, which it will be more acceptable to the customer. At the same time, it helps you to make the product or service much more greener, much more sustainable.
It sounds good. Your next question is, how can business integrate AI for eco-friendly practices?
So as I mentioned, it is not about technology. It is about the intent. So the entrepreneur has to have in mind that I want to build a green product or a green service. So from the design stage itself, from the requirement stage itself, you have to give that point that you need to have a sustainable product or service. Now, AI helps you in, as I mentioned in earlier also, that it can collect information from various sources and gives you that recommendation, which ultimately you have to evaluate and decide which will make you useful. So when you are looking at the entire, let's say, manufacturing process, you have AI. It is collecting the data from the entire process in the entire workflow. And it can tell you where there is a problem. Where can you expect a problem? And automatically help you in taking decisions which will make your, you to use less power, less water, less any resource that you are using, generate less waste, and make it much more useful to the for whom you are making it. So AI can give you all those inputs which you can decide.
Great. Moving with the next question. What's the future of sustainable AI in industries?
So in India, if you look at it, we currently have SEBI given the mandate of BRSR to only the top 1,000 companies. Do we think that it will remain at the 1,000 companies? No. They are waiting for all the 1,000 companies to comply with it. Once that compliance is there, once people have got understanding of what are the challenges and taken care of it, then it will extend to others. And more companies will have to mandatorily do that. Number two, we don't work only with Indian companies. Indian companies has customers outside India. So if you look at European countries and Australia and all, they have mandated proper scope up to scope 3 disclosures for carbon footprint. There is CBAM, which is the cross border adjustment mechanism, where there is a tax for the carbon that comes with the product or service you are bringing in. Now, nobody wants to pay more tax, right? So we want to not only just disclose, but also to improve. Today, we are looking at RFPs. Earlier, RFP used to be just sustainability, used to be a tick in the checkbox. Today, they are going and asking questions not only about how disclose the carbon footprint for the work you are doing. They are going and asking, are the people who are going to work for my project, are they aware? Are they trained on sustainability aspect, or maybe sustainable IT or sustainable AI? And then they are asking that how many times they have gone through trainings, how much of knowledge they have. So they are going more in depth, and that is going to increase day by day, and more countries will come into fold. One of the most important thing is the younger generations and people themselves are looking for taking green, sustainable products and services. So they will not take these products and services if it is not sustainable.
Yeah, it sounds good. Moving with the next question. How does AI help in reducing e-waste?
How AI helps in reducing e-waste, interestingly, is a very important question, because e-waste, only 17% to 20% of the e-waste across the globe is only collected, not recycled, only collected. And out of that, only 2 to 3% is actually recycled. So reducing e-waste is important. Now, how do you reduce it? Say, for example, you are having data centers or any machinery or whatever. The more and more things have to be changed, the more e-waste is getting generated for any electronic device. So mobile, every 3 years you throw it away, more e-waste is getting created. More laptops you are changing every 2.5, 3 years, more e-waste is created. So what AI helps is predictive maintenance. By doing predictive maintenance, you can increase the life of the product for longer period of time. A product which instead of going for 3 years can go for 5 years, or 5 years goes for 8 years, that much less carbon footprint happens. That much more sustainability comes in, and it reduces the e-waste, right? So AI can help you on doing these, identifying from beforehand where things can go wrong so that you can take care of it and it extend the life of the product. Number two, identifying the e-waste in stacks. We are not very good at segregating waste and all. Segregation itself can be done by AI properly. looking at the visuals, you can identify what should go in, what should be taken out as e-waste, and what should not be in the normal waste situation, right? So all those help can be brought in through AI.
Great. Your next question is, can AI driven analytics improve environmental compliance?
Yes. So as I mentioned that when you look at the supply chain, when you look at the entire set of data that is required to create a BRSR kind of a report or a GRI report or any such report, AI can help actually properly collecting those data from the source and create not only just the report, but it can also help you recommending where things are not going right and what you should do to handle that. Otherwise, you can do it like with an Excel sheet also. But that work, a lot of it becomes kind of a greenwashing, which is not the correct figures. AI can help you in doing that because the source of information is vast and it is varied. So AI can help you in understanding and identifying those and doing it properly.
Nice. Um, your next question is, how does AI optimize energy consumption in data centers?
So, like we have a partner which is a micro data center, and they have a product of their own called IPM Plus. IPM Plus is a AI-based energy management system. It goes into not only the servers but also into the desktops, and it identifies the pattern of usage and all, and accordingly it manages the entire energy system, that when things will be put kept on and when things will not be kept on. Where it is required, it will have things working. Where it is not, it will keep it in a low energy consumption mode. So in data center, it is that energy management system has to be plugged in, AI-based energy management system for the entire data center. And that is how it can increase even the PUE or the power usage efficiency of the data center. Typically, it is up to 1.5, 1.6, but a good data center should have between 1.1 to 1.2. That is what is important. So if you look at the external cooling system, if you look at the other lightings, everything. Now, if AI will be able to handle it to put it on and put it off when it is required and when it is not required, when to switch to a renewable energy, when to switch back from the renewable energy to a fossil fuel energy. All those kind of activities can be automatically handled by AI, thus reducing the overall energy consumption and reducing the carbon footprint, even water consumption for cooling.
It's great. Your next question is, what's the role of AI in sustainable agriculture?
So agriculture requires also a lot of information. Like a farmer is not only it has to look at the soil condition, it has to look at the weather condition, it has to look at the rain when it will happen or not happen, it has to look at what is the current soil fertility, what is the water level in the soil. Now so many information for a human being to process and decide something becomes difficult. Now AI can help in understanding all these information from various sources and thus reduce the water usage, reduce the use of pesticides and insecticides, making the food, the agricultural food, to be much more healthier for people. It also reduces the cost for the farmers and it gives them enough opportunity to ensure that their crop will grow properly. AI visual can actually look at the ground and see where there is a plant and where there is a weed. And you can combine it with robotics to pick up the weed and leave the plant, right? So there are many such things that can be there. And today, agri-tech itself is a big area, and AI itself can focus on multiple. And when you are looking at other things like today, you find that agriculture is combined with pisciculture, that is fish. Now, here you are talking about three, four different organisms. You are talking about the plant, you are talking about the fish, you are talking about the bacteria and other things that is created, those which is useful, those which are harmful, and you have to maintain a balance of all of this. Now, AI picking up all the data, all the information from all the sensors is going to be able to do it a much better job than human beings can.
Nice. Your next question is, how can AI help in water conservation efforts?
AI can help in conservation efforts because as we are looking at the energy optimization, AI is also looking at the water consumptions. So, looking at the, say, for example, AI sensors can sense, I mean, the sensors can sense where there is a leakage. And AI can look at those visuals, analyze it, and say that, hey, in this place, there is going to be a leakage. So, take care of it. Or there is already a leakage, take care of that. Which human beings will have to go through the entire place to check for something. But just the visuals that you are getting from the CCTV cameras and all can be analyzed and so on. Similarly, in a data center, water is a big problem. And with AI data centers, obviously, it's a much bigger one. So when you are trying to, when AI helps you in reducing the need for cooling, your water conservation also happens. Right? Agriculture, I told you that it depending on the already the water content in the soil can tell you how much of water you have to give. That gives you the right amount of water to be put in so that there is no extra water. So that reduces 30 to 40% of the water for the agriculture, right? And all of this ultimately ties to cost.
Yeah, nice. Your next question is, can AI improve sustainability in healthcare industries?
Yeah, so we recently did a hackathon on sustainable AI. And one of the companies, what they did was they created a cancer treatment recommendation engine using AI. So that is one example. In another case, I saw a startup, they have created a AI module which helps in detecting Alzheimer's much early in the day. So similarly, multiple such things can be done. Even if you look at just a doctor taking the information from the patient, it is not just one set of information. There is huge amount of information. There is what the patient is saying, what its tests are saying. Then you see what are the benchmarks that are there in the world of healthcare. And then if you have to analyze all of those and say that what is come to the diagnostic. Now, AI can help you in the diagnostic. Yes, the doctor will finally take the decision, but a lot of the supporting information can be given by, which makes it much faster and helpful for the doctor, and chances of making the right diagnostic is much better. Yes, obviously the AI also, the model has to be well contextualized and prepared for it.
Yeah, it sounds good. Moving with the next question, what's the key to implement sustainable
So the key to implement sustainable AI is you start with the problem first. What are you trying to solve? Does it really need AI for it? In most of the cases, we see that what is being looked at as AI is not the need for AI, it is looking for automation. Every automation is not AI, right? So you have to first understand what is the problem you're solving. Once you look at the problem, then you decide what you want to do. And if AI is required after evaluation, then you go with implementing AI. Then you decide, okay, what model to use. Because in most cases, you do not need large language models. You need small models. You need contextualized models specific to that work. You don't ask, I mean, when you are looking at the chat GPTs of the world, what happens is we are used to using it for playing. You are using it to create a picture. You are using it to ask for a recipe. You are using it to find an information. But when you use it for work, you don't do all those things with the same thing. So that's why most of the cases you don't need that large models. Instead of a 70 billion parameter, you might need only 3.5 billion parameter. And it will be much better, more accurate, and less hallucination. So then you identify the model. Then you gradually start implementing it step by step and keep improving on that and building on top of it. I would say that would how you should approach it.
Yeah, great. This is your last question for today's session. You need to break the rules if you want to success. Do you agree with this statement?
Absolutely. I mean, you have to break the rules. See, one of the major things that we have to understand with AI is we are used to deterministic way of thinking and deterministic products. There is a clear definition of what we want, a requirement that the client has given, and based on that, we are making something. But with AI, it is not that. It is a probabilistic situation than deterministic situation. So instead of breaking the rule, I would say there is no rule. So you have to define your rules, you have to define your guardrails, you have to ensure that whatever you are doing does not have a negative impact on any of the stakeholders and deliver what will help the user of it in the best possible way. So if we try to force fit a deterministic way of doing things to a probabilistic requirement, it will not fit. So we have to look at newer ways, suitable ways for this non-deterministic, probabilistic situation, how it works.
It sounds good. Um, Moving ahead, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to Dr. Niladri Choudhuri for being our guest for today at Conversation with Consultants. Your presence and engagement helped to make this event successful. Thank you for providing insights into your exciting journey. Further, we would also like to thank our audience for listening patiently throughout the event. Thank you everyone joining with us today and hope that everyone gained some knowledge from this event. Looking ahead, we are excited to announce that our next episode 97 of Conversation with Consultants will be held soon. We hope to see you all there. Thank you and we look forward to reconnecting with you again. Do subscribe our YouTube channel and follow us all social media handles to stay connected with us. Goodbye and have a great day ahead. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.